everyone, Draco Magnius here for another episode of Let's Play Angels with Scaly Wings. It's been a while. In the last episode, we got Lorem's bad ending, unfortunately. In this episode, I'm going to try and... I don't know if this is going to be the finale or not, so I didn't mark it as such for this stream. But I'm going to try and get as many good endings as possible in this episode. Maybe I'll get all of them. Maybe I'll only get, like, 2 of them. We'll have to see. But I'm not sure where I want to start, because I now have a guide that tells me how to get all the different good endings, and the bad endings too, but I'm trying to get all the good endings. So, to help me decide which one I'm going to tackle first, I have with me right now a D4, a 4-sided die, and my dice tower I use for Dungeons & Dragons, and I'm going to roll this die, and that'll decide what endings we're going for. Well, the first one we're going for, and then maybe also the second one. So, 1 is going to be Remy, 2 is going to be Anna, 3 is going to be Lorem, and 4 is going to be Bryce. I think you guys would be able to hear that, so looks like 4. We're going for Bryce. Alright. So it is written, thus it is written, thus it shall be. Lady Fate has decided that we're going down Bryce's ending. So for Bryce's good ending, I need to start Anna's to get to where she wants to do the blood test. And then we just hang out with Bryce, I guess, until the 4th investigation. Alright. Alright, so that was fucking annoying. Oh, I have to fix my audio now, probably. And no one's in the chat to tell me if the audio sounds fine or not. The microphone got unplugged, I guess. Or the wire's just a little jumping. I need to get a new mic. As soon as I can, I need to grab a new mic or a new cord for this damn thing. But anyway... So yeah, we've decided to go down Bryce's line because I rolled a d4 to decide. I don't know where this cut off. Anyway. That's right, what do you have for me? I'm not sure if it's worth mentioning, but I have known Reza for a couple years, so I know some things about his personality. I see, well, that's actually more helpful than you might think. Mannerisms, habits, all kinds of things would be useful to add to his profile and... To add to his profile and get a better idea of him. You know, I'm just about done here for the day, but if you want to discuss it over a beer or something, I'd be more than happy. Yeah, let's go. Alright, let's go. Here we are. Okay, I did see this scene before. Skip. Alright, you know what? I'm sorry, the whole contest thing was a stupid idea, and I shouldn't have suggested it, especially not to you. Well, it's not like you forced me to participate, so I suppose we share some of the blame. Let's just pretend this whole thing never happened. Deal. Wait, what time is it? Damn, I should really get going or I'll be late for work. You know how to get back to your apartment from here, right? I think so? Guess you should get going as well, kiddo. Maybe I'll see you some other time. Alright, now let's spend some time with Anna. Forget where in her line we do the blood test. She told me to meet her here, so she's got to be around somewhere. The production facility had many different wings, covering everything from research to processing in addition to production. It was easy to get lost if you don't know where you were going. I heard some commotion in the distance. When I approached, I was surprised to see not only Anna, but Remy as well. They seemed to be in the middle of a heated conversation. I thought it would be inappropriate to approach now, so I remained several paces back, out of their field of vision, but I'm still close enough to make out some of their words. We have heard the rumors. So you come to me on the basis of rumors? That how you operate? What do you want from me? This is not the first time you've been in trouble, you know. They might not be so lenient with you this time. I don't know what you're talking about. Consider this a warning. You should proceed carefully for your own good. You wanted to threaten me. The least you could have done was send someone more intimidating. You may be larger than I am, but even I can see you're just a big coward. You wouldn't dare put your dirty claws on me. I wouldn't. I'm here as a courtesy to you, not to threaten or intimidate. Do with that information whatever you wish. You know we'll be back, and if they find anything, there will be consequences. Do you think I care? That attitude of yours is not helpful. Neither are you. Well, I've said what I came here to say. Good luck. Whatever. Remy turned to leave and started walking in my direction. I ducked behind a pillar, and when he was past, I wasn't sure if he'd seen me. Either way, he left, and I was safe to approach now. Skip. Just look at that. I won. Someone had to. This turned out to be more fun than I expected. Of course, the main reason for that is because I won, but still. I get it, you won, you're great, etc. That is true. So, when should I come in for the tests? Actually, I'm not sure if I'll get a spot for them in the facility anytime soon, but I'll be sure to let you know. I'm quite sure you will. And you know what? This wasn't so bad after all. Maybe I'll let you have your date. Really? Sure, I mean, you didn't win, but I think you earned it nonetheless. Or maybe I'm just that nice. Okay. Well, it's up to you. Call me if you're interested. I'll let you know. I'm still going to collect my prize, though. I'm sure you'll make sure of that. You bet I will. In any case, I should get going now. My break is just about to end. Bye! I was not sure what I expected out of this encounter, but it certainly wasn't this. After all, proposing a proper date was my way of sticking it to her for being rude. Even though I lost the bet, she didn't seem to mind going on a date with me, as long as she got what she wanted. Whether I would follow up on it was up to me, though. Chapter 2, Duty. This is really getting annoying. Okay, so for future reference, don't put the phone on the table because you'll jostle the wire and it will make it a bad time. I picked up the phone because that's where I have all the information I need to get to the endings. So I need to take the blood test. I think that's the next one. And then we got to get to the 4th investigation. Okay. It was a relief to leave the crime scene, considering all that had happened. When I reached into my pocket to take a look at the list, however, I found something unexpected. It was a small piece of paper with the word Tatsu written on it. How did it get there? My earlier encounter with the masked person was the only time today someone was close enough to me to smuggle something into my pocket. I figured if someone like Bryce tried to do something like that, I definitely would have noticed. As for Tatsu, the only related thing I could think of was Tatsu Park, which I had come across when I went to the police station the other day. Even if that park was the place the mysterious paper referred to, I didn't know if it was actually a good idea to visit. The masked person may have saved me from the failing light fixture, but if it was Reza, it would mean following someone who's already the prime suspect of 2 murders. I also had to consider the list of places Reza had been to: the local grocery store, the production facility we had visited, and the library were the 3 places closest to here. It certainly was going to be a busy day. I knew I wouldn't have time to visit all of them. Alright. I will go to Tatsu Park to start. Tatsu Park. Here I am. I don't even know what I'm looking for, though. The sign. Map. North toward Tatsu Avenue. Open the hatch. Is it gonna just open it, or am I gonna have to remember the password? On the metal covering the hatch, there are 2 buttons, which are situated left and right of central. The circular lever, the arrow, and the lever is pointing up. Ah, shit, I am gonna have to... Alright, let me go into my notes real quick, because I know it's in here somewhere. I don't think I deleted it. Because why would I? No, I would need it again. Let me see. Where is... There it is. Okay, the hatch code is first button, second button, and counterclockwise. Okay. I might need this blood, I think. Or the bandage with the blood. It's a cloth with suspicious red markings all over it. I guess that's all to be found down here. All right. Go back. The shrubbery. Shrubbery again. I think I have to examine it 3 times to get the orb to appear. And one more time. Oh, I guess I was wrong. I don't know. Political district? Someone bumped into me. Oh! New person! Lucius, sorry about that. Are you alright? Besides being a little dirtier than before, I think so. I should really look where I'm going. Sometimes I just get lost in my thoughts. Hey, I think you dropped this. Oh, thank you. Ghost stories, huh? Yep. Oh, I should probably go before the bookstore closes. Bye. Bye. There's someone sitting on the benches. Yeah, sure, I'll approach this dragon. Why not? Alright, it's Emra. Forgot that's where she was. I think we've already interacted with this scene, but I'll read it nonetheless. What a most pleasant surprise to be meeting you here, Draco. Do you know who I am? I do. I just said your name. What brings you here today, Draco? I'm not quite sure of that myself. The park does have an appeal that naturally draws people in. I would know, since I'm partly responsible for creating it. Have you seen the north side yet? If not, you totally should. It's so pretty this time of year. You created this park? Well, some of it. You see the building behind me? That's where I work. Do you want to know a secret? The park was built here so I could enjoy going outside on my breaks. Like right now, for example. Speaking of your work, Remy works for you, right? I just met him the other day. Oh, Remy, quite the little nerd, isn't he? Have you seen his malformed ears? I want to laugh every single time I see him. Bitch. That's not very nice. Be that as it may, I just can't help it. Fucking bully. Can I ask you a question? You can ask for sure, but whether I can answer or not is another question. What would you like to know? Tatsu Park. Okay, can you tell me more about Tatsu Park? Well, I'm not sure there's that much to say about it. I just opened recently. I think the initial request was for more open spaces, like a dedicated place for people to gather and such. If you read the plaque, you would know that the park was dedicated to our so-called creator. I say creator like that because I think the word is a bit of a misnomer, but I suppose people still use it regardless. That's all I really need to know. I don't want to ask anymore because I think we've already tread this information before. I suppose I should get back to work anyway. Well, thank you. This was a most pleasant conversation, Draco. Alright, anyway. So now is there something in the damn bush? Nope. What about the pavilion? Wait, was this the second time that we came to the park? I feel like I'm missing out on something. Alright, this is the third time. What about the pavilion? I might have to look up how do I get the orb, because the orb is kind of important to another ending. Unless by third time they mean another time we come to the park. Which is possible. Alright, yeah, I don't think there's anything else to find at the park. Oh well. The grocery store, I guess. And I'm pretty sure we already have been through this conversation, so I'm probably just gonna speed through it. Who's he talking to? Think seen her before. She turned. How can I help you? Are you bartender? Oh! Oh, that was new! Aren't you the bartender from the other day? That I am. Did you have fun that evening? Yeah, it was alright. You know, you can do more in the bar than just getting drunk. Oh, really? I could show you sometime if you want. Is that an invitation? Well, if you put it that way, it kind of is. Anyway, how can I help you? Who was that? You mean the girl? That's Vara. She comes here on occasion to pick up her mother's prescription. Do you remember Reza coming here? Of course I do. It's only been a few days since he was last here. This will sound a little unusual, but can you tell me what he bought? Are you talking about last time or every time he came here? Both, I suppose, if he came here more than once. He's been visiting pretty regularly, now that I think about it. That was kind of a bad read. Interesting. I can look up his purchases if you like. That would be really helpful. Shouldn't be too hard, just give me a second. I watched him as he carefully navigated the register's buttons, soon followed by the sound of an attached printer. Here you go, receipts from all his purchases. Oh, that was easy. Since our government takes care of all his purchases, they're filed separately. It was simple to pull them up. Looks like he bought mostly food and snacks, sometimes magazines. But why was he buying lemons every single time? I can't say I didn't notice, but I figured it was just a human thing. Strange. In any case, that was more information than I expected. You have my thanks. You're welcome. Whoops. Just browsing, I suppose. I think we've already looked at all these, but I'll look at stuff. Bread. Hey, you! Are you talking to me? Yes. What do you say, melon bread or lemon bread? Or melon or lemon bread? I mean, the only difference between the two is one letter. So how am I supposed to choose? I don't think that's how it works. Why are you wearing a box on your head? Why don't you just go with the one you like more? That's a good idea. Why didn't I think of that? Is that a cardboard box on her head? Okay, crazy. Alright, well that's that. Leave. I don't know why I did that, considering I had already done those before, I'm sure. There we go. Skip. Alright, so... Anyway, you said you had some information for us. So what did you find? The bandage you found is something, alright. Of course, it could be anyone's, but why would someone discard theirs in a place like that? Seems suspicious to me, and is certainly worth checking out. I'll make sure it gets to the right place. The receipts you got are interesting. There might be something to them, or they could just be a useless record of his eating habits. You never know what you might find about a person, their habits, or their plans this way. Well done, Draco. That gives us some solid points from which we can continue our investigation. In any case, thanks for your help. We really do appreciate it. You're welcome. That should be all then. Since Bryce still hasn't come back, I assume the search is still going on, and I better get out there and help him. Guess it's going to be a long day. Can you find your way back to your apartment? Of course. Alright, I'll see you later. Good luck. Finally, some free time. Whatever am I going to do? Well, let's meet with Anna. Get that blood test done. And just on time. Now, where is she? Hello? What's this? Looks like a message. Something came up at the last second. Wait for me. It shouldn't be too long. Anna. I guess that last second is meant in a literal sense here. Or else she could have just called me. Guess we're playing the waiting game then. I will wait. I will still wait. Okay. We've already gone through this, so again, we're gonna speed. There we go. Skip. Well, that was interesting. Wait a minute, I've got something for you. Here you go, your test results, black and white. Thanks, but you didn't really need to spend all that extra time getting this done today. I just wanted to get it over with when I had the chance. Maybe you should start thinking about not working so late on a regular basis. It might do you some good, Anna. Why do you think so? I'm just saying, if it usually gets as bad as it did today, that's not a good sign. I just didn't pay attention to the time, but I guess that's because I barely go out anyway, and I didn't even think about watching the clock. Okay, point taken. So, what are you going to do? I'll think about it. You know that this date is now that this date is officially over, I don't work overtime every single day. I could fit you in for your end of the deal. Of course, you didn't forget about that. I'll let you know the details, or just call me if I forget. Sure. Alright. Got her in the third mark. Nothing going on. Let's meet with Bryce. Time for the second meeting with Bryce. Whole new scene. Hey Draco, good to see you. Thanks for the invitation. No need to be so formal. I'm sure I'm the chief, but here I'm just Bryce. Wait a minute, something seems different here. What do you mean? Oh, that's it. We're both sober. I thought we weren't going to mention that. Right. Don't mind the chaos. This is just a temporary arrangement. He led me inside and motioned to the couch. When I took a seat and looked around, I realized that his apartment was obviously designed with only a single person in mind. Some days all you can do is be glad they're over. Long day at work? You know how it is at the police department, especially with everything going on. Things are pretty overwhelming for me too, being an emissary, no joke. How many... Wow, that's brutal. Let's not go with the brutal one. Let's go with this. Good point. Guess we both have a lot to complain about. Hey, it's not a contest. We can commiserate. So what do you usually do for fun in your world? Read, meet with friends, spend time outside, work out, read. A little book lover, aren't you? Can't say I am. How about you? Different things, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. You know how it is. That's not very specific. Alright, I'll show you something, but promise me you won't laugh, okay? Sure. Good. He went to a shelf on the far side of the room and picked up a long object. Carrying it in his maws, he returned it to the table before me and gently set it down. It was a wooden model ship. From first appearances, I guessed it was a child's first attempt at assembling a model. While the shape was recognizable, there were odd pieces jutting out or not fitting together properly. In some places, globs of dried glue remained from excessive use. Who's the Parkinson's-affiliated gent who did this? What's this? It looks... what's this? Well, you asked about my hobbies. I guess this is the latest one. Even though I try, I don't always make the best decisions. I know I'm not the most patient person, but in my line of work, you never know what they're going to throw at you next. So you always have to be prepared. You can't have any exploitable weaknesses. Hey, Vibe, nice to see you. We're just starting on Bryce's quest line. I now have a guide with me, so I should be able to get the good ending if I'm doing this right. Because, you know, there's a lot of endings in this game, and I want to make sure I get the correct ones. Anyway. Also, does the audio sound alright? Because I kind of bumped my mic a few times, and I'm worried that might have messed up the audio a bit. Anyway, I'll continue. And of course, I want to be fit for duty, as the chief. People look up to me, so I have to be at my best at all times. We can both tell the model is not very good. I don't really have the patience or the dexterity for it. But I tried my hand at this to get better. Sure, it took me way longer than it should have, and my claws were covered in glue for a week afterwards. But you know, these models aren't even intended for us. They're made for runners like Sebastian, who have the proper hands to do that stuff. I know the ship isn't much, but it's something. Maybe if I keep trying, I'll get better. Wait a minute, you have ships? Not in this town, but yeah, we have ships, all right. Why does that surprise you? I just find it interesting, because where I come from, we also have those vehicles for land and air travel. Or we also have vehicles. Well, some of us can fly, and some of us can run well, but none of us can swim beyond the seas. I see. No dragons are really specialized for underwater. Do you even have different continents? Not that I know of. You'll probably have to ask someone who knows more about our world than I do. How can you not know about something like that? Well, we do get the occasional explorer who ventures out into uncharted seas, but I don't really keep track of that kind of thing. Would you want to visit if they ever found one? I can't say that I don't find the thought exciting, but in the end, I've got my people here, and they need their chief. Maybe you could take a vacation and see what's out there. What's a lie? Ha! If I ever have the time for that, maybe. Can you swim? Not particularly well, but you may have noticed that I'm not exactly streamlined. That floats on water. Wow. I'll just say he's the pinnacle of masculinity. Stroke his ego a little bit. Why not? Glad you think so. These muscles are the result of years of hard work. Alright, put your hand on my forearm. Don't you technically have 4 legs? I guess, but it's easier to say forearm than specifically the upper part of my foreleg. Besides, using the word leg might be misinterpreted. That might make you think of my thigh, and that would be something else entirely. Right. I placed my hand on the upper part of his foreleg, somewhat surprised at the warmth radiating from his scales. I hope you're ready, because here I go. His forearm shifted, and the shape of his muscles changing. As they became more defined, in a moment they were firm and bulging. His scales flaring under the stress, and he looked as though they might pop off at any moment. It reminded me of a flexing bodybuilder in a skin-tight lycra suit. After a few seconds, his muscle relaxed and regained his former shape. See, that's what I'm talking about. Color me impressed. Didn't expect that, huh? It's too bad that all those muscles couldn't help you when Reza got away and you got stuck on those stairs. Wow, what a dick thing to suddenly bring up, but okay. Hey, that wasn't my fault. It was the damn stairs. That's true. Fucking stairs, right? Speaking of which, this whole case has been completely insane. Us always a step behind Reza, and Maverick running around trying to catch him himself. I wonder what he's up to. Maverick? Yeah. Well, he is a Maverick, so, you know, he's already a loose cannon cop. He had an interesting conversation not too long ago. What? When exactly was this? Oh, was that? When I went into town to check on your list of places Reza had been to. How come you didn't say anything about that before? I didn't think it was anything worth mentioning. It was a pretty one-sided conversation anyway. Alright, maybe you should start from the beginning. One explanation later. I don't want to say he's crazy, but I have no idea what he's talking about. Me neither. You know, next time you should let the police decide whether something like that is worth mentioning or not. Why did you not tell us about this again? Thought it was just Maverick being Maverick. He's not normally like that. I don't get it. Why has he been acting like that? Do you think he's on something? Onto something, rather? I don't know, but there must be a reason behind his behavior. Maybe just a misunderstanding. I'll say that. Even if it started out that way, it's now turned into something dire. We need to find Reza as soon as possible. I'm just thinking out loud, but Reza was the first of your kind to come here. He arranged the generator and PDA trade, and then you came through the portal to deliver your part of the deal. Did your people have any goals or long-term plans for us, or was this exchange going to be a one-off thing? It was supposed to be a scouting mission more than anything, a test to see if this kind of business relationship could work out, and if it did, it would make humanity very happy. Things aren't looking good on that front right now, though. But yeah, that's another reason why I'm helping you. However this whole thing turns out, no matter what happens, I've got your back, okay? Thank you. No prob, buddy. Hey, I'm gonna grab myself a beer. You want one? Sure, fuck it. Alright. Bryce got up and left through one of the doors to fetch his beer, leaving me alone in the room. Well, now it's time to examine things. I'll look at the magazine, why not? Bold letters proclaim the magazine's title as Universal Fitness, its models on the cover catching my eye with their confident and athletic poses. Headlines like Stronger, Thicker Tales, and amazing tips for burning passion give me an indication of its topics. Curiosity got the best of me, and I found myself staring at the first double page, which profiled their Athlete of the Month. It was accompanied by a range of pictures, showing off the athlete's body from different angles and a number of poses. Looked at Bryce's magazine. Uh-huh. When I heard the door creak open, I quickly put the magazine back on the table, before Bryce lumbered back into sight. He had the handle of a beer, filled with basket, clamped in his maw. He carefully set the basket on the coffee table and took the beers one by one. Once he was done, he swatted the empty basket into the far corner. Help yourself if you like. Bryce's store-bought beer looked different from what we had seen in the bar. They were presented in large plastic bowls that were sealed at the top, reminding me of a yogurt container. He broke the seal on one of the containers with his claw and proceeded to drink it noisily. Sweet, sweet nectar. Always does its job. You know, you can keep looking at the magazine if you want. I'm not surprised if you'd be curious. Hey, I'm not the one who bought it. You didn't mind looking when you had the opportunity. It's nothing to be ashamed of. Let me guess, you only buy it for the articles? Believe it or not, their fitness tips are actually pretty good. Pictures are just a bonus. Can I ask you something? Go for it. Please don't take this the wrong way, but I watched how you carried the beer. I was going to ask how you do daily tasks like shopping, for example, but I guess those baskets are your best friend? That's just how we do things around here. Not sure why that's so special to you. That makes me wonder. I know you can use your forelegs well enough for things, but what about your hind legs? Can you walk on those? Good question. If you're just talking about my species, some of us can. At least a little. But me? I probably wouldn't be able to take more than 2 steps that way. Interesting. Maybe that's something I should practice as well. It'd be good exercise and discipline. Regardless, I wouldn't be part of any competition anytime soon. You have competitions? Oh yes, each species gets their own athletic competition, with a few events every other year. That sounds like fun. Ever thought of joining? It's not really my kind of thing. I mean, it's always about who's the best and the strongest, and who has the biggest muscles and all that. I'm not into that whole competitive lifestyle. Dude, same. And some of those events can be a bit dangerous. One accident could be over for me as chief. That sounds rough. What kind of competitions do you have? They usually highlight the individual species' strengths and abilities. We get to do strength-based stuff, the flyers get to fly, the runners get to run, and so on. Speaking of which, it's kind of funny how upright you are when you move. The runners lean forward and use their big tails for balance, whereas you have yours tucked into whatever that is you're wearing. Don't got's a tail. Actually, we don't have tails. Are you kidding me? Not at all. Seriously? Everything alive has a tail. How can you just not have one? Well, you see, Bryce, over millennia, well, not millennia, billions of years, the human species started out as monkey. And then monkey moved on up and up and up. Eventually it didn't need the use of a tail because it found a way to balance on its legs just fine. And then brains got bigger, and that's where humans come from. Or the creation myth, God snapped fingers, boom, there's humans. And there's monkeys and there's all that. Or the light creationism theory where God made monkey, and then monkey eventually became human. Or God created monkey and decided, you know what, maybe I can make this better, and kept tweaking it over and over and over again until human happened. There's a lot of theories. That's just the way they are. Some animals don't have tails, us included. Evolution, I suppose. Guess you were robbed of more than just your fur. I mean, we've got hair. And some people have body hair, which is kind of like fur. Myself included. But tails are wonderful. Just look at mine. It's a pretty wicked weapon right there. And you just have nothing? Well, we can make really good fucking weapons. Can't help it. You know what? I don't believe you. Not sure I can make this any more clear. Show me. No way. Why the heck not? Not sure if I can adequately explain this, but we wear these things for a reason. Asking to see what's underneath is very offensive in our culture. Is that so? Yes. Sounds like an excuse to me, but I'm not gonna argue. Okay, so we've got tails covered, but what about wings? I don't think we can call those little things on my back wings. What are they then? Articulated pieces of armor, I guess? Can you flap them? I can try. Bryce got up on all fours, grounding his body and prepared for what was to come. His face contorted into a grimace as his upper body strained. He held the pose for a few seconds, but nothing happened except for his continuous groan of effort. Then suddenly, his wings, air quotes, started to move. Slowly at first, but they swayed up and down. He gradually picked up speed and moved with rhythm that could rightfully be called flapping. It reminded me of the pigeons I often saw back home. After holding it for a few seconds, he breathed a sigh of relief as he relaxed and the flapping motion stopped again. A single bead of sweat rolled down the side of his face as he looked at me panting. Can you do that again? I wasn't looking. Didn't even take a... That was awesome! Yeah, that was clearly a first. Too bad they don't have any flapping competitions for my species. That was exhausting. Just the right time for a beer. I mean, it's just 2 beers, who cares? I sat back and watched as Bryce took the last beer, opened it, and took his first sip with a slurp. So I've been wondering, what does it take for someone to become humanity's ambassador? I'm still not quite sure how I ended up here. I guess in my case, it was a combination of the right degrees, volunteering, and a great deal of luck. But what kind of job did you have before that? Were you like a politician or a diplomat or what? Actually, it was none of those things. Reza maybe, but certainly not me. Guess it's not like you needed ambassadors to represent humanity before, right? That makes this whole process a first, unless you had aliens show up at your place before. It's funny you say that, because for a while there actually was speculation that you were aliens. Well, it's not like we fly around in spaceships or anything. Strictly speaking, the word alien refers to any form of life that doesn't originate from our own planet. So that makes us aliens to each other, huh? Well, technically speaking, you're just dinosaurs in a different timeline of our planet, so you're not aliens, you're just ancestors, I guess? Well, I'm not sure that would be a good descriptor for your kind. Oh, why not? Let's just say that where I come from, the word often carries negative connotations with it. That's no good. What does that make us, then? I don't know. Maybe we'll have to make up a new word for sentient civilized dragons. What do you think about us humans, anyway? I know many others have their own ideas of what humans are, or what they're supposed to be. I'm not buying into all that, so I'll just take it as is. And how is that? How is it? Well, you've been interesting enough so far, and Reza, I'm reserving judgment on that one. It's so funny to see people talking about humans all the time and what your presence could mean. Well, I'm one of the few who's actually gotten to meet you and knows what you're like. And people still don't know about Reza. That'll certainly be interesting. What do you think will happen once the truth about him comes out? I'll start worrying about that once we know what the truth actually is. Good point. You work with the police long enough, you learn not to have any preconceived notions about such things. Take things as they are and do what's necessary. I imagine you've seen many things as chief. I certainly have. They're usually not the kind of thing I should tell people about, though. Why not? Not sure how it's done where you're from, but People here usually don't like me telling them about the horrible things I see at work. That... Okay, my mouse just sort of freaked out there. I see. Man, look at the time. We spent all afternoon talking. I guess I should be heading back to my apartment. Yeah, it's getting pretty late, and I still have to prepare some stuff for tomorrow. Can you find your way out? Yeah. See you soon, then. See you. Chapter 3. Leadership. The morning sun declared the arrival of a new day and woke me from my vivid dreams. Memories of my home enclosed with the towering perimeter wall raced through my head. The peaceful landscape outside the apartment window stood in defiance of these old thoughts. Rolling hills and blue skies were familiar to me now, and the purity of the sight gave me hope. Draco, please come with me. What's going on? You sound serious. The chief will explain everything once we arrive. Okay. Oh, sorry, I was looking down at the guide real quick. Hey Chief, Draco's here. Thanks, Sebastian. You can deal with can you deal with the situation here while I talk to Draco? Fumble? Again. You can deal with the situation here while I talk to Draco, alright? Of course. Draco, I've got some really bad news. Well, what is it? You know Anna, right? I've met her, yes. How about her assistant? I met him once or twice. Well, that's him. Are you okay? I'm fine. Yeah, I'm fine. Let's just get this over with. Bryce nodded. And here's more bad news. The blood we found on the first victim in town matches the DNA evidence found on the second victim in the power facility. Furthermore, the murder weapon and method appear to be the same across all three victims. And that's going to be a big problem for you. Why is that? Because with these three murders, Reza now qualifies as a serial killer. We won't be able to keep this whole thing quiet for much longer. Higher authorities, including the ministry in charge of your whole visit, will know about this soon. I have no idea what will happen once they do. I'm not sure what to say to that. I don't want to worry you, but we can be sure that action will be taken soon. I've been considering this possibility for a while now, and I think it might be best if you went back to your world for now. This way, we can take action before the ministry does. Before this all becomes public, if we wait, we don't know what they'll do or how the public will react. With everything going on, it's too dangerous for you to stay here. No. No. This would be the worst possible time for me to leave. We've given up our PDAs and have hardly anything to show for it. We are owed several more generators, and let's not forget Reza's still missing. If I leave now, the only thing I return home with is my life. I'll have lost everything else. We need those generators, Bryce. I have no idea if your authorities will continue to uphold our deal or what they do to Reza, but I'm not leaving until this is over. If that's your decision, then so be it. I'll have your back either way. Thanks, Bryce. It looks like you've seen this before. Skip to the scene selection? Yes. As you wish. Okay. What do I want to do? I guess the production facility? I don't remember which ones are citizen. Hey, Draco! Lorem, right? Yep. Did you get a chance to think about what I told you last time? Don't worry, I didn't lose your number. They keep me pretty busy, so I don't really have much free time. Well, if anything changes, give me a call. I will. I gotta go now, so take care. You too. This should be the right place. Oh, it's you. I'm a little busy, so I'm not sure if I should be... Fumble. I'm not sure if I should take any visitors at the moment. I have a few questions about the murder of your colleague. Is that so? Why do you get to go around asking questions like that? Is it a matter of human interest? Actually, yes, you could say so. Interesting. What's in it for me? Hey, I already agreed to your tests. I'm not sure what else I could offer you. Besides, I'm working with the police, so your cooperation will be greatly appreciated. Oh, you're working for our police. Now you really have my attention. I want to see where you're going with this, so by all means, go ahead. What happened the last time you saw him alive? I saw him yesterday evening. There were some tests I needed to run overnight, so instead of staying late to set them up, I had Damien do it. That's what my colleagues are for, right? What can you tell me what happened when you found him? I might have left early yesterday, but I made up for it by coming in early today, before anyone else. That's why I was the one to find him. I was on my way to my office when I saw him lying in the middle of the hallway in a puddle of his own blood. What was your relationship? We were colleagues, nothing more. I heard you didn't particularly like him. Yeah, but that's not unusual. I don't like most people. He really didn't like me, though. Why's that? He was jealous of my success, and it showed. You seem very calm for someone whose colleague was just murdered. People die every day. It's just a simple fact of life. Besides, I don't see you crying about him either. I barely knew the guy. I didn't know him that well, so it's not like someone I actually cared about died. Fair. The world stops spinning for no one. Life goes on, and for me, that just means being without an assistant for a while. That's it. That'll be all. Thank you, Anna. My pleasure. Time to head back. There's a small piece of paper. Don't go to the portal. Ah, yes, this scene. There's the gunshots. I'm skipping this because we've already been through it. Oh, wait. Stay inside. Call the cops. I forgot there's a skip button. Okay. Police archives? Yeah, fuck it. Let's go to the police archives. Ah, yes. I mean, we've already been through his thing, so I'm gonna say I'm kind of busy. Ah, that can't be helped then. Sorry. Don't worry about it. There'll be someone else along soon, I'm sure. Sorry, my dude. Alright, the station, police archive. I was met by the police archivist, a dragoness who introduced herself as Kathleen. You're in luck, Draco. Bryce compiled all the case files a while ago. Ever since you came to our world, he seems to be a lot more interested in these human mysteries. Wonder if it has something to do with you. Anyway, you can find all the files here. I'll leave the rest to you. Thank you, Kathleen. Study the blueprint of the underground. We've already seen this, so do. Beyond that, the company had even branched into genetic engineering. Human hereditary diseases were becoming a thing of the past, and they developed techniques to alter human life to its core. Ultimately, they had a hand in influencing every area of life on a global scale. It was unknown who was truly calling the shots, as their network of companies and names was vast. It was the only way of their many ways to ensure their continued existence, to avoid liability. Where they had been outlawed or their operations shut down, new companies with suspiciously similar products had appeared practically overnight. However, no matter how big their empire was or how well they skirted the lines, they ultimately collapsed just like the rest of the world. That being said, how did this building make it into the Dragon's world? As I pondered this, Adine's request came to mind. I used Bryce machines to make a copy of the map for her. Bryce probably wouldn't approve of me giving evidence to civilians, but I was sure he wouldn't even realize it required a map. Okay, structural damage report. According to the report, the investigation of the building was halted due to the acute danger of its collapse. I think we've seen this bit. Oh. Flawless run. You did well in all investigations. Whew. So, what can I do what I can. I know. And your help is greatly appreciated, believe me, especially since we're so short on staff right now. That'll be all for today. I'll contact you if we need anything. Of course. By the way, I found an Ixomen sphere in the park a while ago. I was told to hand it over to you. Oh yes, those things are really expensive. I'm sure the owner will greatly appreciate it if they get it back. I dug into my pocket only to realize the Ixomen sphere was still resting on the table in my apartment. Oh, looks like I don't have it on me. If it's registered, you only need to turn it on, and you should be able to find out who it belongs to. I already tried that, but I think it's out of battery. Maybe we could find you a charging base then. Actually, we had one in our lost and found box. Bryce keeps it around, somewhere around here. Let me check. He got up and over to one of the tables. He picked up a box from under it and returned it to me. There it is. Let's see. He rummaged around the box for a bit. Strange, it's not here. I remembered seeing it when I came in today, so he must have thrown it out earlier. Right before we actually needed it. To be fair, it's been there for quite a while. No one's going to miss those tail bins that have been in there for a few weeks either. But if he's going to throw it out, it might still be in the bin. And the plot thickens. He cocked his head to the side. He cocked his head to the side. We both peered into the trash can that was next to the table, but it was empty. Sorry to disappoint you. This is an emotional roller coaster. If you came in here a few hours ago, we might still have had it. Well, it's no big deal. Guess I just have to hold on to the Ixom sphere a bit longer. Alright, I have to get back to work now. We'll contact you if we need anything else. Okay, so if I do Lorem's quest next, I'm going to have to come to the police office first. So that we can get the base for the Ixom sphere. Sure, take care. You too. So does it just consider I have all of the items that I've already found? Because if so, I don't even need to look for the damn thing. A free day. What should I do? I'm curious about something now. Doesn't look like I really have an inventory, so... Although I am curious about that achievement I just got. So let me really quickly... flawless run. Do well in all investigations in a single playthrough. Oh, nice! Good to know. Alright, and what's my achievement? Wow, I'm doing actually pretty decent. I'm almost halfway through. Anyway, let's do... on his next one. So we could run those tests. Skip. I wouldn't miss an opportunity to meet you. Boop! Glutton for punishment, huh? Not that I mind. Skip. Well, I think that's it for the day. You can go if you like. And now, Bryce. Damn, this is beautiful. There you are, Draco. Seems like you're the last one. I thought I was on time. Oh, you are. It's just that everyone always gets so excited about this when they come. When they, fumble. It always gets, fuck. Oh, you are. It's just that everyone always gets so excited about this that they come a little earlier. I thought it was strange how late you're holding this get-together, anyway. It's simple, really. Now, we get this beach all to ourselves. Before you go and meet the others, I should probably warn you. What is it? There's someone here that you may not approve of. And who would that be? Maverick. Why is he here? All things considered, it's been better for him to be here where I can watch him than if he was out there doing who knows what. You know what I mean? Besides, if I invited you and not him, I'm not sure how he would have reacted. He's always come to my barbecues before. Plus, maybe if I talk to him, I can find out what he's up to. Does he know that I'm here? Yes, and he assures me that he will keep the peace. Can you do the same? Sure. Thanks. I appreciate it. Let's just hope there won't be any incidents. I don't know if it's my chair, but my back feels weird. Then again, I have a gaming chair, and I've recently discovered that gaming chairs are a bad thing. Now it's too late, and I gotta get an office chair, apparently, because those are so dang comfy, apparently. But I don't know if it's the chair I'm using, or if it's just I slept funny the other day. Because that could also be a thing. Anyway. Alright, let's go and meet the others. As we walked a few paces, I saw some familiar faces. Usually, there'd be more people here, but with everything else that's going on, some of the others at the department couldn't get any time off. Hey everyone, guess who's finally here? You may remember Zong, the waiter at that bar. Hello, Draco. Hey! Hey, Sebastian. Hey, Draco. I mean, what? Just because he's not wearing the hat, I'm not going to recognize him? Come on. Maverick. Hey, Draco. Hey, Maverick. See? We can be nice. We're practically best friends at this point. Alright, let's get this barbecue started. I don't see a grill or anything here, and where's the firewood? See that pile of stones over there? That's our grill. And the firewood, well, we don't need that. I see. So, who shall light the fire? I could make my own this time. Very subtle, Sebastian. No need to be subtle about it, Zhang. Your fire stung up the whole area last year, and it made everything taste weird. I didn't notice a difference. Yeah, because everything tastes the same to you, Maverick. I told you I had the flu. I'm sure you gave us more than just your fire. I think we got some of your spit in there, too. Yes, because of the flu. Everything was congested, so it was hard to get anything out at all. It was hard to get anything out at all. You're not making this any better. Excuses, excuses. I'm just telling you how it is. Besides, it wasn't even my idea to light the fire. You were all like, oh, Zong never lit the fire. He should do it. Don't blame me for getting what you wanted. Yeah, and we learned our lesson. Zong, not even once. You wouldn't be complaining so much about it if it wasn't for the flu I had. Maybe I should light it again this time to prove you wrong. No thanks. Last year was bad enough. Why don't you do it, Bryce? I'm not sure if I'm feeling up for the task. Why doesn't Draco do it? I don't have fire breath. I mean, I'm gonna be clacking rocks and rubbing sticks together, my dudes. I like that idea. Yes, let Draco do it. Seems we have a unanimous decision here. Go ahead, Draco, show us what you've got. Suddenly they looked at me, clearly expecting me to light the fire for them. I don't want to disappoint you, but... I don't suppose you have any matches. This is a joke. They were still watching me, not moving or batting an eye when suddenly laughter erupted. Ah, good to see Maverick is so amused. Okay, guys, I get it. The joke's on me. Should have seen your face. Yeah, it was great. Don't pay any heed to them. They're always like this. Yeah, I noticed. Seriously, though, who should light the fire? You really want to do it? You really want to do it, don't you, Seb? Is it that obvious? Just go ahead, then. We already agreed Zhong's not doing it. Hey, I told you I could prove you wrong this time. Yeah, let's not ruin our barbecue 2 years in a row. Maybe next year, then. Just don't get the flu again, I guess. I don't feel up for it this year. With Maverick's aim, he probably shouldn't either. I'd rather not risk anything. I could hit you anytime. Sure, but we just want to have a barbecue, not set the whole beach on fire. Besides, Sebastian's fire always makes the food so crisp and smoky. I like that. Any objections? Nope. Me neither. Master of Ceremony, would you light the fire, please? It's not an easy job, but someone's got to do it. Sebastian went to the small bed of stones that they had prepared. Since his back was turned toward me, I couldn't exactly see what he did. But a few seconds later, a fire started burning among the stones. There we go. Well done, Sebastian. Okay, that was weird. I thought I clicked, but I guess not. My pleasure. Alright, everyone, pick your poison. Just to get you up to speed, Draco, we've got pretty much everything here you could ask for. Of course, we have all the varieties of meat, but we also have some vegetables and cheese, if you're into that sort of thing. We even got some of the algae stuff we usually bring for Naomi. One of the girls at the department, but she couldn't come tonight. Oh, that's a shame. Just help yourself and throw it on the fire. Sebastian always gets some veggies with his meat, whereas Zhang goes totally crazy over the cheese stuff. Now that I think about it, maybe it was just the damn cheese that made everything so bad last time. Oh, shut up! Or else I'll force feed you some of it. No thanks! Keep your cheese to yourself, please. Where was I? Oh, right! I go for the meat personally. And, as I said, the algae is normally for Naomi. She really likes the stuff, but she's one of the water kind, so that's not a surprise. I tried it myself once. Not really my kind of thing, but feel free to take some if you want. And then there's Maverick. He just eats whatever he can get into his muscle. A few years ago, a sandstone managed to hide between some of the slabs of meat he got. He didn't even notice and just kept on munching. Yeah, but that was with Bryce's cooking, so I couldn't tell the difference. Why, you? After all of us have made our selections and put it on the fire, we sat down in a circle around it. Of course, Bryce made sure Maverick and I were not sitting next to each other. Smart move. So, Bryce, how did that stint with Emra fumble? So, Bryce, how's that stint with Emra going for you? It's weird. I'm not even really doing anything. I just have to follow her around and stand guard in her office. But what's worse, I think I found out why she wanted me to do the whole thing in the first place. Oh, do enlighten us. It's kind of embarrassing, to be honest. Now you definitely have to say it. Alright. The real reason why she wants me to be around her so much is that she totally has the hots for me. Oh, come on. Seriously? You wish. You all know that what she's like in public, right? But as soon as it's only us two in the room, she's like totally different person. It's unreal. I mean, I believe that she's different in private, but still... Of course, Bryce. When you make up a story, just go with a high-ranking politician isn't enough. Obviously, she also can't resist your manly allure. But it's true, I'm not even interested in her. For one, she isn't really my type, and regardless if it's her public or private persona, her personality really sucks. What was that about sucking? Oh, shut up! If no one wants to believe me, I'll just stop before I get to the really bad stuff. I can actually confirm that she does act like a totally different person when she doesn't think she's being watched by the general public. Interesting. Okay, Bryce, why don't you tell us more? What exactly does she like about you? What's not to like about me? We get it, Bryce. Let's just change the subject. It's true, I swear! Then give us some details. What's she like in private? It all started innocently enough. But as I told you, when we were alone, she started to get kind of weird after a while. She wasn't even remotely subtle about it either. Once even the words cavity search came up, from her, mind you, not me. Oh, come on. I can't even listen to this anymore. And then later, she was suddenly like, oh, my back is so stiff. Would you mind giving me a massage? You look like you have the proper strength to give me a good one. It's like she's not even trying to hide it. Did you give it to her? Of course not. I told her I'm not good with massages. That's the truth. Who would have thought? Do you really believe him, Seb? I'm not judging, just listening. Emma wanting you to give her a massage hardly constitute as her having the hots for you, though. I'm not even done yet. Well, I'm done with this. Earlier today, she told me how nice it would be for a child to grow up with 2 leaders for parents. Coming on a little strong, isn't she? You know, if Bryce can be believed. Actually, I don't think even Bryce could come up with that one on his own. I'm not buying it. Hey, at least you believe me, right, Draco? I say it's plausible. I do. I can totally picture Emra acting like that. See, I told you if Draco believes it, it must be true. I can't argue with that logic. Maybe it's just the alcohol talking. Whoops. I didn't even have anything yet. Sure, but with as much as you drink, your blood is like at least 10% beer now. I bet you can't even get completely sober anymore. Anyway, what do you think I should do about her? Nothing, because you made the whole thing up in the first place. If I don't do anything, I'll probably end up having to marry her or something. At this point, your story would actually be credible. And at that point... why don't you just tell her to stop? Yes, because that'll work out. It's not that easy. Considering our positions, even though I'm the chief, there's nothing I can do to prevent her from pulling me off the case and making me into her personal bodyguard. If I tell her too strongly, she could totally take my professional life into a she could totally make my professional life into a nightmare. And she totally would. Yeah, no, from what I've seen of Emra, that's on point. I see. So this is a situation that requires careful deliberation and subtlety. Not exactly your strong suits, Bryce. That's why I'm asking you lot. Not that you're much better, though. Maybe you should play along for a while, just to see what happens, and then, once the time is right, you strike. And strike referring to what exactly? I mean, I think he's saying, you know, drop the look, I'm just not that into you. I'm not going to indulge her in any way, shape, or form. Ugh, this is the kind of situation that's going to cause a huge uproar if I include it in my memoir. Who's going to read your memoir anyway? Well, I know at least one person. Draco, what do you think I should do? Geez. Asking me for relationship advice? Okay, oof. What are my options? Play along, see what happens. Tell her how you really feel. Go on a date with her. Let's see. If you play along, it sends the wrong message, and when you do say, look, I'm just not that into you, it's probably gonna hurt a little more. If you tell her how you really feel, she might actually make his work life a living nightmare. If he goes on a date with her and it doesn't turn out well, that might just be the end of it. The only thing I could see working in those situations that you've given me, I think going on a date with her would actually work out. I mean, just don't turn on the charm or anything. Just like, I don't know, show her how you are and maybe it'll turn her off, or just, you know, try to not be enticing. Really? Why would I do that? Well, what's the worst that could happen? Maybe she won't be as bad as you think. I kind of doubt that, but you never know. That kind of makes me curious, though. How does dating work in this world, considering there are so many sentient species around here? Is dating between different species encouraged? Maybe that's why Emra's so interested. Is there ever any crossbreeding? I'm sure these questions will go over well in this group. Crossbreeding, that's funny. Well, there isn't any crossbreeding. It doesn't work like that. Besides, I thought you were into biology, so shouldn't you already know where hatchlings come from? You are a completely different life form. From what I've seen before, so I didn't want to make any assumptions. There are many interspecies couples, though. And what if those couples want to have a child? There are plenty of options. Usually, it's either adoption or a child where only one of the parents is biologically related. Emma totally wants my children, though. Don't you want to be a father? Heck no! I'm not ready for that. I wouldn't even know what to do with a hatchling. I'd probably end up breaking its neck by accident or something like that. What about you, Draco? What about me? Are you having the hots for someone here, as Bryce would put it? To be honest, I have no idea what that kind of relationship would even be viewed where I come from. Since we only have one sentient species, I'm not sure what sort of social norms we develop if that ever changed. Technically speaking, you dating one of us is no different than Emra dating Sebastian, for example. Hey, I'm not getting between the beautiful thing Emra and Bryce have going on. If you ask me, you can do whatever you like as long as you're here. Knock yourself out! Well, I noticed that Draco has been making a lot of visits to the production facility. That could be for a number of reasons. Yeah, I bet Draco's meeting someone there. The only question is who. I made a bet with Anna, that's all. She's famous, did you know that? Playing with fire there, Draco. It's nothing serious, only made a bet with her. There's nothing to worry about, that's none of your business. Probably won't see her again anyway. I don't like any of these options. It's nothing serious. I don't want to say that's none of your business, but... that's none of your business. Oh, I know what that means. Maybe it doesn't mean anything. Just be careful, Draco. By the way, I think the food should be ready by now. Good catch. Slowly, everyone shuffled toward the fire, which by now had become nothing more than an eerie, glowing pile of illuminated... Fumble. I am just all over myself tonight. Slowly, everyone shuffled toward the fire, which by now had become nothing more than an eerily glowing pile that illuminated the area. One by one, everyone took their hot food from the stone bed and placed it onto the provided paper plates and bowls. It was my turn. I hesitated, since I could feel the heat radiating from the stones. Something the matter? I think it might be a little too hot for me to handle. Right, no scales. Let me get that for you. There you go. Thanks. We resumed our positions in a circle around the glowing stones, and I waited for my meat to cool down while the others started eating. Yep, crisp and smoky. Good job, Sebastian. Don't mention it. Really, it's good. I'm still not sure how you can eat that cheese stuff song. Are you going to make fun of my food choices again? Almost fell over. I dropped what I was holding. To be fair, we make fun of everyone and everything here. I don't mind the cheese. I wouldn't mind eating a whole bed of stones and everything on it as well. Or you wouldn't mind. At least I try something different every once in a while. I do too. I think there's at least 5 different kinds of meat this time around. Case in point. The food remaining on the stones slowly disappeared as everyone got their additional helpings. Soon, even the last piece was gone, and silence started to set in as the banter slowly died down. People eating the algae, though, I'm profoundly curious about that. It didn't let me select what I was eating. And I mean, like, I don't know if IRL me would eat algae, but I'd be curious about it to maybe try it once. I think it's time for me to leave. What, already? Hey, the babysitter can only stay so long. Oh well. Yeah, I should probably be heading off. You know I'm starting early tomorrow. Well, I guess we all got what we came for. What about you, Maverick? Looks like the party's over anyway. Don't you all get lost in the dark then? Of course. And until next year... Thanks for inviting me, Bryce. I suppose I should be heading off as well. Oh, no, you don't. What are you talking about? Hang on, Sorry about that. Had a bit of a mucus buildup. I don't know what that was about. Well, they all live in the vicinity, but your apartment is on the other side of town. I'm not letting you go home alone at this hour. Reza's already operated during the night. He may just be waiting for an opportunity like this. What do you want me to do then? You can sleep over at my place. If you insist. Damn, now everyone left without cleaning up. At least you're still here to help me. Of course. We started to clean up together, but with the amount of trash left by 5 people, it clearly would take a while. It was clear it was going to take a while. Hey, do you want to know where I got these scars? I bet you're curious. You want to know how I got these scars? Sorry, couldn't resist the reference. Yeah, go right ahead. Why not? I guess I was right. You are curious. At least they make me look extra intimidating in my job. No one wants to mess with the big rugged chief of police. Probably think I got them from some crazy near-death case, but that's only true for one of them. The other was a completely different story. Back when I was a kid, some of my friends and I always used to play outside and go adventuring together. We could go anywhere as long as it was close enough to town. Woods, mountains, beaches, we loved to explore every one of them. We got fairly familiar with our surroundings. Excuse me. Then one day we heard from someone that there was a system of caves nearby. Caves! That was something completely new to us. Of course we went there as soon as we could. Yeah, I've never been in a cave. Like when I was younger, I used to like going in the woods with my friends, but we didn't have like caves anywhere. So that wasn't really a thing I could explore. We were all very excited. It wasn't a big cave system. Not big enough to get lost in, but we still had so much fun that day. So much, in fact, that I wanted to go back there right away. The next day, I called up a few friends, but they had a longer school day than I did. Instead of waiting for them, I decided to go alone. Turns out, going out exploring on my own was a little less exciting than doing so with friends, but I still had a pretty good time. I was just walking through the entire underground system was quite an experience. Plus, since I was alone, I could take the time to explore every last nook and cranny that I wanted to. Maybe that was my mistake. When I was in one of the remote corners, the ground suddenly gave way and I fell about 5 meters into the cave below. Luckily, I didn't get any serious injuries from the fall, but as I looked for another exit, an ominous realization set in. This cave had no entry or exit, except for the one I came in. Ooh, that's not good. There were a few holes, but I could never fit through any of them, or make them bigger in any way. Even if I could, I didn't know where they'd lead. In the end, I had to try and climb out on my own, but as you can imagine, I wasn't exactly the best climber in town. Even so, I still got about halfway before I lost my grip and fell down again, cutting my muzzle on the edge of the rock in a rock in the process. It bled pretty badly, but at least I knew to put pressure on the wound. I couldn't climb out again, however, I couldn't try to climb out again, however, so I waited. Oh, look at young Bryce. It took several hours for anyone to even notice I was missing. I must have been there for about 4 or 5 hours, all alone, before I heard footsteps above, and a search party found me. Long story short, it turned out that besides the cave system we knew about, there was a much larger one right underneath. Those caves can only be entered with a guide now. And I got this lovely reminder of the experience on my muzzle. I had plenty of time to think while I was down there, and later in life I often returned to that experience. At first, it made me want to get stronger, but I realized that strength alone wouldn't have saved me. Our kind will probably never be able to climb much at all, but I can at least try to better myself. I guess the whole experience also kind of explains why I'm building those stupid wooden models now. Feeling so helpless while I waited down there, it also made me realize I wanted to help others. Having been saved by the police sure did a lot to make me want to follow the same path, turns out. Sorry, there was a period there. Turns out I was good enough to even become chief. I guess that's all the trash. Thanks for the help. But I want to know about the bite that was in a case. I mean, that was an interesting story about your childhood, don't get me wrong. But, like, that looks like a bite mark on your neck, and I'm curious how you got that? I suppose I'll have to tell you about the second scar some other time. Damn it. Let's head back now, shall we? Sure. Looks like it's already later than I thought. We better head to sleep soon. You can take the couch. I'll just sleep on the floor or something. Don't you have a bed? Oh, this is just a temporary arrangement. I wanted to be closer to work, and the new apartment wasn't ready yet, so I have to stay here for a while. I see. With all this armor, I barely feel anything, so it doesn't matter where I sleep. Thanks, Bryce. No problem. Yeah, hey, I'm a squishy human. I mean, I can sleep on the floor. I've done it before, but a couch is so much better. And if he's offering and says it's no big deal, why not take him up on his offer? See you tomorrow, then. See ya. Loss. Intuition, Chapter 4. Or Chapter 4, Intuition. I awoke with my eyes fixed on the ceiling wallpaper. A sense of dread lingered from the nightmare I no longer remembered. How many more times would I see this apartment before I returned to my own world, before something happened to me? I got ready for the day. I tried to shake off those thoughts. Hey, Draco. And right on the minute, you show up at this time every day like clockwork. Clocks are reliable, and reliability is good in this line of work. I think you can guess why I'm here. Is it Reza again? What happened this time? The chief will explain everything once we get there. Let's not keep him waiting, shall we? Alright, this is the stolen eggs part. Skip. If anything with you here, we might be able to convince him to give up, or we could act like we intend to trade you for the eggs if he tries to use them as a bargaining chip. Nope, that's Sebastian. Whoops. If anything with you there, we might be able to convince him to give up, or we could act like we intend to trade you for the eggs if he tries to use them as a bargaining chip. Not really going to use me as ransom, right? We'll see about that. I suppose if it's necessary, I'll have to play along. I've got your back. If there's one thing we could do to make this whole situation even worse, it would be messing up with you. We have the element of surprise. If we walk into his base right now, we risk Reza lashing out with his weapon. If we want to resolve this peacefully, observation is probably the best way to go. I guess we won't need Draco for that. Though. True enough. Alright, Draco. You stay here and wait for further instructions. We may need you at a moment's notice. Don't do anything without us telling you to. Understand? Okay. Alright, then let's go. Alright then. Let's go, Sebastian. After you, Chief. And Maverick. Good job. Thanks, Chief. That was a bad read. Thanks, Chief. Shortly after they vanished, Maverick also turned to leave. Wait. He stopped and waited for a few seconds. What do you want from me? Do you have something against humans in general, or is it just Reza and me? Do you think you're superior to us because of your wings and teeth and claws, your fire? Or is it just jealousy or projected hate? I know the first day I met you, you were all hung up on people paying attention to us because we're human. Fumble. I can assure you there's nothing about us to be jealous about. Our world is just a wasteland. He closed the door before he turned back around to face me. Really playing that innocent role, aren't you? Now you're offering yourself as a bargaining chip for Reza. At this rate, even I might start to believe you, if I didn't have a reason not to. If I were with Reza, it wouldn't have been... would it fumble? It would have been much easier for me to pull a gun on you, too. The day you were shot, but I didn't even bring one when I came through the portal. Plausible deniability. Or, as we like to say, good cop, bad cop. If Reza's plan fails, you and the rest of humanity can disavow Reza's actions as his own, and still go through with the trade as agreed. And Reza would be dealt with, however. Yet if Reza's plan succeeds, you will have given us nothing, and still gained what you wanted. If Reza got away, you'd still have me, though. If your world's a wasteland, don't you think losing you is a price they would gladly pay? Maverick's words made me think. Did I really have the complete picture before I stepped through the portal? Guess that would explain why I got the job in the first place. Besides, Reza only stole the things humanity wants. He's clearly not just doing this for himself. His actions only started after that confrontation with you, though. Maybe none of this was planned. Don't be stupid. Do you think I've forgotten about the secret message he sent you? I still don't know what he would have told me that day if you hadn't interrupted us. He wanted to discuss his plans with you. Only after I found out about the secret message he sent you did I realize that the message sent back and forth between the portals could have been similar, even before you arrived. When the police searched Reza's apartment, of course none of these older letters could be found. Those did not have any secret messages? Is that so? Those didn't have any secret messages, sorry. None that I knew of, at least. When he sent me that secret message, I initially had no idea how to read it. But you knew it was a secret message? Yes. But that's not true for the messages he sent you before he came through the portal. I don't think so. Maybe those messages weren't intended for you then. We're not that different, you know. What are you talking about? I reached into my pocket. I still have that? I don't know how long it's been. Pulled out a wrinkled piece of paper and showed it to him. According to these test results, humans and dragons show remarkable similarities for different species from different evolutionary lines and completely different worlds. Why do you think I care about that? It wouldn't make a damn difference to me if other dragons came through the portal instead of humans. I was the only one who followed Reza and knew something was off, but all my concerns were swept away with the way in the wind. It was never about you being humans. It was about my people not hearing my pleas and the leniency they were willing to show you in the name of fostering this diplomatic relationship. But you two came here and strutted around like you owned the place, as if you tore my home apart. The blood of those who died is on the hands of everyone who allowed this to happen. They had listened to me in the first place. Maybe they'd have caught Reza that day I was wounded, and things would look very different right now. I agree. Then why do you blame me for suspecting you? All this time, I've just been helping the police. So have I. Maybe they'll finally catch Reza, and we'll see how all of this turns out. Wait a minute. You had Anna perform these tests for you? It was more the other way around. She was the one that wanted to study my blood. Suddenly, I'm not surprised that you had these tests done. She can be ruthless when she wants something. What did she do to get your blood? She asked nicely for it. He looks so fucking weird, laughing. She asked nicely. Nothing else in this world right now could be worth more than a sample of your blood, and you just gave them to her? You know what? Maybe I was wrong. Even if humanity and Reza had cooked up a crazy plan, and even if they're willing to sacrifice either of you for their own gain, maybe you really have nothing to do with it. Maybe you're just as clueless. It doesn't really matter, though. After all, you have nothing to gain from me if I change my opinion of you. To me, proof is the only thing that really matters. So my feelings on the issue are not important. If you work with the police long enough, you learn to take things as they are. Maybe with you, I'll have to admit that I was wrong. But I won't ever stop looking for those who are responsible for this. And if I find them, I will show no mercy. Fair enough. Then I had to wait. Bryce and Sebastian were observing the farm now. And if anything new happened, I would be the first to know. I spent some time looking around Bryce's office, studying the material he had gathered about the case, though there wasn't any information that I didn't already know. After a few hours, the telephone in his office rang, and not sure whether the call was intended for me or Bryce, I picked up. Draco? Yes. I think you need to come here. I'll give you the directions. No problem. There you are. So what happened? A whole lot of nothing. There was no movement to or from the building in the time we've been waiting. He usually operates during the night, so maybe he's just asleep? In that case, it would be best for us to go in before he has a chance to make his escape. Or maybe he's not even there anymore. He could have seen us and slipped away unnoticed, with plenty of time to destroy evidence while we've been waiting here. You're right. Either he's still inside, or he's gone and he's not coming back. Let's go in. What should I do? You're coming with me. Sebastian, you walk around and watch the back of the building, just in case he tries to escape. I'm on it, Chief. So we have two options here. First is that you stay here and I go inside. This way, if Razor tries to flee and sees you, you might throw him off. You might be able to stop him, or if we get into a standoff, I can tell him you're here as well. And the second? You go in first and I follow. This way, if we find him, we may be able to resolve things peacefully. You might be able to talk to him. And even if it doesn't work out, you've still got me and Sebastian nearby to stop him. I don't think he's planning to harm you on sight. And if we can hear things starting... Fumble? And if we can hear things starting to go wrong, we might be able to surprise him. So either we take him by surprise... So either way, we take him by surprise. I just have the option of talking to him first. I think you could pull it off. Maybe, if you're there, he won't act as irrationally as if he would if I was suddenly standing in front of him. I'm not going to force you if you don't want to do it, though. I'll do it. Alright, let's go. We slowly made our way to the front door. I took a deep breath and tried to prepare myself for the possibility of facing Reza. The tense scenarios and things I could say to him rushed through my head as I pressed down the door handle. We've already seen all this. Bandage the facility. Skip through. Visit the witness. Eggs to the hatchery. Talk to the witness. And skip. Yes, skip ahead. Seems like there's nothing for me to do this morning. I guess they don't need me at the police department. Not that I mind. Alright, let's meet with Bryce. Finish up his quest line. Oh, that must be him. Hey, Draco. Hey, Bryce. I know you said you wanted to get out of that small apartment of yours, but I'm not sure if mine is much different. Well, I figured yours couldn't be any worse than mine. And now that I'm seeing it from the inside, I have to say, the council didn't do a bad job with it at all. I assume it's appropriate for someone of my status. Whereas the chief of police has to make do with whatever he can get. You said it was only temporary. Fumble. It is, but I'm really getting sick of it, to be honest. I can imagine. Anyway, what's the plan? Plan? We gotta do something, right? If you want some entertainment, I could offer you a bookshelf full of it. Here, Sheridan and the Scepter of Sovereignty should be enough to last you a while. No thanks. I have enough fiber in my diet already. Suppose you're not a fan of reading, then. Why would I visit you just to read some crummy book? And besides, I do read from time to time. What do you read? Signs, menus, magazines. I don't think that counts. Let me take a look around your apartment, then. Feel free, though I'm not sure if there's anything special about it. I watched with amusement as Bryce headed for the kitchen. So that's what you're really looking for. Guess what? I found something. He showed me one of the cheap bottles of wine that had been in the cupboard since I arrived. Why you raid the fridge while you're at it? No thanks. This'll do for now. Oh, I get it. You want to play spin the bottle. Sure, we just gotta empty it first. I assume you don't mean emptying it into the sink. Of course not. That'd be a terrible waste. Terrible waste of the second cheapest wine from the store. I don't know how you humans are with stuff like that, but here we don't throw away perfectly good things. I'm not sure this wine would qualify as perfectly good. Hey, at least it's not the absolute bottom of the barrel. Now, are you gonna help me with this or not? Eh, sure, fuck it, why not? Alright, let's make it one glass for you and the rest for me. Jeez. You think that's fair? If I had to guess, I'd say I weigh about 5 to 10 times as much as you do. So this is as fair as it gets. If you say so. I opened the kitchen cabinet to find an appropriate vessel for Bryce. But when I turned to ask him about it, he had already opened the bottle and was sucking on it like a baby. Suppose that means I won't have to do any dishes. How does it taste? Like wine, I guess. Cheap wine. Besides, I thought you were more of a beer person. Hey, I take what I can get. Just a few minutes later, the bottle had been emptied completely. I'm not sure if drinking like a dragon is a phrase, but if it isn't, it should be. Hey, not everyone can drink like me. I see. And now we can finally play spin the bottle. Don't we need more people for that? Damn, you're right. Now I drank all of this for nothing. You know, aside from the satisfaction of drinking it, I guess. Somehow, I think the whole spin the bottle thing was just an excuse so you could drink the wine. What? I would never do such a thing. Of course not. Well, we could still play it with just the two of us. At that point, we wouldn't even need the bottle anymore. We wouldn't even fumble. At that point, we wouldn't even need the bottle anymore. Come on, where's your sense of funness? Is that even a word? We're here to relax. You should lighten up a bit. It's been hard to lighten up given everything that's been happening here. If anything, it's worse now than it has. Fumble! If anything, it's worse now than it's ever been. Reisa's actions are threatening our agreement and with the survival of everyone I know back home. But what really takes the cake is that he may have it out for me because I'm helping all of you. You want to have this conversation right now? Alright, let's have it. Just let it all out. Yeah, why don't we talk about Maverick? He may have it out for me because he thinks I'm working with Reisa. And me, I'm just here, right in the middle of this whole mess. Just trying to make the best of it. You know, you're only involved in the investigation because we need your help, right? I know, and I'm doing what I can, but that doesn't mean it's making the situation any easier. Think I don't know that? Me, the one responsible for every action our police is taking in this matter? If you want to go ahead and blame someone, just blame me. I can take it. I'm not blaming you. I'm just saying this whole situation is something I'm not very comfortable with. Oh, hey, Howard. And whose responsibility is that, huh? However you look at it, it's me. I was the one who didn't listen to Maverick when he had his suspicions about Reisa. If we had acted then, this whole thing might have not spiraled out of control like it did. And despite what you might think about him, he was the one who found Reisa's hideout, even after I forced him into sick leave. We were practically at Reisa's front door, and he still got away somehow. If I had done something different, we might have caught him. Let this be my official apology to you. I apologize for anything that I might have done to wrong you. I'm sorry for putting you through all of this, and having to involve you in our work, while trying to fix this whole mess because, in the end, this is all my responsibility. You don't need to apologize for anything. He hurled the empty bottle against the wall on the other side of the room where it shattered to pieces. That seems excessive, but okay. Then what do you want me to do, huh? I don't know. Do you think it's easy for me? Seeing so many people die on my watch? Do you think I don't keep asking myself the same questions? What I could have done differently? And if that would have made a difference? You think as chief, I'd be used to it by now. But I'm not. How could someone ever get used to this? It's my duty, you know? But I can't save them all. Never could. You know what happened out on patrol today? We found a dead child, and her mother in their home on the outskirts of town. The mother died from some sort of illness, and after that, the daughter never left her side again, as if she had just given up on life. You try and think how you might explain something like that to the relatives. But I guess in this case, we got lucky. Because the father was one of Raisa's earlier victims. You've been to more than enough crime scenes now. How have you remained so calm? Do all those who've died not matter to you? I'm sorry for making you look at a corpse on your very first day here. But you know, I had to. Your help here has been invaluable. And it's not like I could ask anyone else. It's the same for me, really. Sure, they could ask someone else to be chief. But if I'm the one who's best suited for the job, who am I to reject that? Otherwise, I'd have to blame myself for every mistake the other chief made. Is that why you drink? It might come as a surprise, but... Actually, the alcoholic police chief used to be a huge stereotype in our world. Really? You wouldn't believe it. Actually, I do. The research about alcoholism in the police force is out there, but the general populace doesn't know about it. It's all just internal documents. Why don't people know? They don't want to know about the unhappy things like that. Besides, they trust their chief. If they knew about it, maybe they'd start to have their own doubts. I thought it was common knowledge that you visit the bar fairly often. Often enough that you're friends with the bartender. I don't know. Maybe they don't realize how it affects me. They see someone who can drink a lot and does it for fun. They don't realize what it means. What other stereotypes about police are there in your world? You don't want to know. That's the biggest one. There's another one, but you know what? We're just gonna... I see. Well, alcoholism and suicide are both huge problems in law enforcement. Suicide? Yeah. If you have to deal with the things we do on a daily basis, it can affect you in pretty bad ways. Everyone has their breaking point. We all just cope in our own... Yeah. Fumbled that line. We all just cope in our own different ways. Some do it better than others. That's why I'm worried about Maverick right now. And why I wish you'd known him as long as I have. Think he's at his breaking point? He's taking this whole Raiza situation very personally. I'm just worried about him, you know? Just like I'm worried about everything else until we can sort out this whole mess. It's personal for me too. No matter what you may think about Maverick, or what he may think about you, he still found Raiza's hideout, which led us to the generators. I guess you've both helped a lot in this investigation. My point with all of this, We're all a very tight-knit group at the police station. Me, Sebastian, Maverick, Naomi. The bond we form on the job is how we look out for each other. I can tell you there's nothing else quite like it. What do you think? How many more have to die to stop Reza? If anything, he's more dangerous now than he's ever been. You know how much depends on how this all turns out. Whatever happens, I'm just glad to have known you. Remember when I told you about the wooden models I'm making? I never told anyone else about that. As much as I like everyone at the department, it's just not something I can talk about with them. You saw us at the barbecue. I'd never hear the end of it. Sorry about the bottle, by the way. I'd clean it up, but don't worry about it. It was empty anyway. That's the Draco I like. Oh, you won't believe what happened with Emma at work. What did? Well, I did what you told me and asked her out. How was it? Well, we didn't go yet. She was just doing her usual thing with her comments again yesterday. So I told her I noticed, and it'd be easier if we just went out on a date to find out if we're compatible. And what was her reaction? I'm not sure. It seemed like she was both thrilled and in disbelief that I would propose such a thing. She made it pretty clear that if it's just some sort of joke, there will be consequences. And of course, I better be punctual. I can't blame her on the last bit. I think she just likes ordering people around. Maybe she does. Can I ask you something? Go ahead. If I told you that I'm a time traveler from the future, what would you say? Did I just suddenly have a stroke of clarity? Time travel? Isn't that something that just happens in bad science fiction novels? The quality of the novel depends. Why only bad science fiction novels in particular? Don't you think there could be a good one? Let's just say all science fiction novels, because they're all bad. Rude. Huge generalization aside, if we're in a science fiction story, and time travelers are real, I'd want to see some proof of it first. That's not something you can come across every day, after all. What if I confided it to you as a friend? You'd still have to show me some proof, or else I'd call you out on the job. Or out on the joke, fumble. What if I was serious? Well, it's pretty far out. That's the kind of thing someone would make up to scam people for their money, or something like that. Alright, let's forget about time travelers. What if I told you there's another human here besides Reza and me? This is getting kind of weird, Draco. Just entertain me for this question. Well, unless you had some sort of proof, I'd call you crazy. As a member of law enforcement, aren't you supposed to follow up on every report? Yes, but that doesn't mean we have to believe everything. If there's no proof, we'll look for proof. If we don't find some, well... Without proof or leads to follow, there's nothing we can do anyway. I see. By the way, when you and Sebastian went to the farmhouse to go after Reza, you just left me alone with Maverick in the same room. I did? Yeah, I was worried there for a few seconds. Don't worry about him. You mentioned that you had a talk with him about a week ago. And that didn't end badly for you either. He might be scary, but I don't think you need to be afraid of him. He's got a very strong sense of justice, so he wouldn't do anything to you without a good reason. When we were alone, we had an opportunity to talk where he made his position very clear. Did he threaten you? No. I was honest with him, and in turn I think he was honest with me as well. Oh, really? Yeah, I had nothing to hide, and if he was willing to talk, I wasn't going to turn down the opportunity. How did that go? I think he doesn't suspect me as much anymore. Guess leaving you alone with him wasn't such a bad thing after all. I suppose you could say so. I just did. What's that outside? Fireworks? Yeah, must be the summer festival. You wanted to get out of your apartment and rather... you fumble? You wanted to get out of your apartment and rather than go to the festival, you came here? Festival isn't really anything special for me anymore. Seen one, seen them all. Besides, it's usually more a thing for families, really. I see. Are those fireworks people keep talking about? No, they have a fireworks show every evening. Nobody really even cares about the first couple days. It's only on the last day when they bring out the big ones I usually watch those. Oh, so there's big explosions, then you care. Well, yeah. It's a big tradition here. Maybe even an ideological one. You know, everyone in the whole town is united under the stars, watching the beautiful fireworks. It's a thing. People have been telling me for the last few days how I just have to see them. You know, you kind of owe it to us as an ambassador to take part in a cultural event like that. I'm gonna go anyway, so you don't need to convince me. Want to come with me? I know all the good viewing points. Most of the popular ones are usually super crowded, and we probably want to avoid those. I can't really promise anything right now, but I'll keep it in mind. Well, you've got my number, so let me know as soon as you can. Sure thing. It's getting late, so maybe I should get going now. I suppose so. Thanks for coming at any rate. Thank you for having me. Don't forget to call me about the fireworks. Yeah, sure. Alright. So I think I've done everything to secure the good ending. I spoke with Maverick. I did the blood test, which was required to speak with Maverick. And, yeah. So really, we just have to get to the end now. So I'm gonna just get some well-deserved rest. Save myself some time. In the end, I decided to spend the day relaxing in my apartment. I didn't know when things should... I didn't know when things would start to pick up again, so I figured it would be better to get some rest as long as I could. As long as I still could. Chapter 5. Leadership. Oh, this went on a little longer than I thought it would. And we've only done one, but to be fair, we focused on a whole story in this mission that we hadn't focused on before, so probably in the next episode we'll be focusing on more, but we're not ending yet. After a night of turbulent dreams, my consciousness returned to the shores of the waking world. Today is the day of big fireworks. Who shall I bring? Bryce. That must be him. I hope you're ready to see the fireworks because I brought everything we need. In front of him, there was a woven basket that was closed at the top. Reminded me of a typical picnic basket. What are you talking about? Snacks? The other things? You'll see. I kind of wanted to apologize for last time, so maybe I can make up for that. Don't mention it. I'm glad you're even willing to see me again after what happened. I'm serious. Let's just forget it and focus on today. Alright. Let's go then. After a few minutes of walking, we arrived at a rather empty-looking area near the edge of town. Where's everyone else? I thought the whole population was watching the fireworks. Well, there are more public spaces, but someone like you would get pushed around a lot in crowds. Besides, I think you'll appreciate the solitude. If you say so. The fireworks should start any minute now. If you're hungry, you can grab something from the fun basket. Fun basket? That's what I call it. I didn't know snacks were that much fun for you. They certainly can be. Besides, there are other things inside as well. Oh, I think it's starting. We waited quietly in the stillness of the night that enveloped us, Soon, I heard the sound of the first rocket making its way into the night sky, after which it exploded in a pattern of colors. More rockets followed, their thunderous noise echoing throughout the land. Suddenly, a terrible realization hit me. Considering how public an event this was, and how everyone would be watching the fireworks, now would be the best time for Reza to make his move. Excuse me. Not only was the village basically deserted, but the sounds of the fireworks would also overshadow any gunshots, giving him as much security as he ever would need, as he would ever have. Fumble. As the portal had been repaired by the mysterious person I met, now was the perfect time for Reza to make his getaway. And I was the only one who knew. Bryce, I think we need to go, now. What, do you want to take this somewhere else? I know where Reza is. What are you talking about? Are you sure? I'd bet my life on it. Then we have no time to lose. Let's go! We arrived at the portal just a few minutes later. While I checked out the portal itself, Bryce looked around the area. I was glad to see it was still turned off. Had it been used recently, it would either still be running or in the process of recharging. Reza was still here somewhere. Damn it. What is it, Bryce? Hesitating, I drew nearer. Damn it, Sebastian always dies. I hate it. He's dead, but still warm. That bastard. Reza hasn't used the portal yet. How could he? Isn't it broken? Not anymore. It looks like someone repaired it. Then he must be close, but where is he? What's so important that he won't leave without it? The underground building. The administrator had told me all about the prowess of the generators within. It probably hadn't been hard for Reza to guess the same, or try stealing it from the place he knew would be even more deserted than the rest of the village was right now. That must be it. So what do we do now? We could wait for him here, but I think I've got an even better plan. What is it? Let's just do it like last time. You go in first, and I'll stay behind and out of sight. If you meet him, you can confront him and maybe talk him down. But if he tries to flee, he'll still have to get through me first. Alright, let's go. Bryce led me to the dig site where they had unearthed the building's entry. Once we got nearer, he stayed behind and motioned for me to go forward. He slowly followed me, trying to stay in cover as I entered the building. And we've already seen this scene like a bunch, so I'm just gonna skip. Oh, never mind. Since the lights were already on, Reza had to be very close. I wasn't surprised at the building still having electricity, since the generators also were also powering the portal. There we go. There you are, Draco. You don't know how glad I am to see you. I've wanted to talk with you for so long. I even tried contact you, but that didn't work with one of them on your tail the whole time. But talking can wait. Now that you're here, we've got everything. Come on, help me with this and let's get out of here. No. There we go. What are you talking about? I didn't kill anyone. Don't lie to me, you did it! I remember it now! What do you mean? That doesn't make any sense. Are you telling me you weren't the one who stole the generators and those other things these past 2 weeks? No, I was hiding. After what happened at the portal, I didn't dare do anything that could jeopardize our mission. Why didn't you just come back? How could I? They wanted to arrest me. I was a fugitive. I was surprised they didn't apprehend you. But then you weren't the one who shot at one of the... Fumble. I was surprised they didn't apprehend you. But then you weren't the one who shot at one of their police officers. Wait, so in this timeline, Reza hasn't been the one committing the murders? Or has he never been the one committing the murders, and someone else has been killing these dragons? Come on, Reza. The murders only started happening after you were gone, and the police have gathered plenty of evidence. You're the only one with a motive. All I did this whole time was try and find ways to contact you, so you could talk to our people and figure something out for me. Why would I escalate the situation like that? Besides, how did you know so much about what the police were doing? I've been helping them because you were going about this the wrong way. I didn't kill anyone, I'm telling you! They have proof, Race. I've seen it myself. Just turn yourself in and we'll go from there. Nobody can help you if you don't do that. No, I'm not going to turn myself in for something I didn't do. Not for these beasts. Who knows what they'll do to someone like me in captivity? How else do you expect this to end? I'm not doing anything until I've got a free passage back home. Actually, I could just leave this place right now. The portal's fixed after all. That's not going to happen. Let me ask you one thing. How exactly are you planning to stop me? I'm the one with the gun here. You would shoot me to save your own hide? Only if you insist on standing in my way. You're not going to get away that easily. What are you going to do, huh? I'll be long gone by the time you call the cops. I don't need to, Reza. They're already here. Suddenly, Bryce and Maverick were standing next to me. You planned this, didn't you, Draco? Traitor! And to think, I let you distract me with such a cheap trick! Just because I thought there was still a shred of humanity in you! He pulled out his gun, not sure which one of us he should be aiming at. Just let me go, and I'll forget this thing ever happened. You've got 6 bullets for 3 people. You think you can really do that, Reza? You think this is worth risking your life for? I've been risking my life for this every day for the last 2 weeks! What did you do during that time? Sip champagne in your nice apartment? Besides, this generator and the whole building came from our time. They belong to humanity! Suddenly, the administrator came out from the shadows in the hallway behind Reza. No, they belong to me. Confused, Reza spun around, aiming his gun at the newcomer, who was slowly walking toward him. I don't know if it's me or if it was the lady it was before, so I'm gonna try to go for a gender-neutral voice. Who the fuck are you? Freeze! I said freeze! Want to waste your bullets on me? Feel free. You can't stop all of us. If you say so. He pulled the trigger and the administrator fell to the ground with a dull thud that knocked her mask. Okay, it was the woman this time. My first instinct was to run away, but as Bryce and Maverick started charging, so did I. Reza was quick with his aim, shooting both Maverick and Bryce twice before pointing his gun in my direction. I quickly dove behind the box with the generator for cover, just as Reza pulled the trigger multiple times. And now you're out of bullets, you fucking idiot. Only a single shot came out and lodged itself in the box. Though I was seemingly unharmed, a loud hiss began to emanate from my cover. Oh, it's gonna fucking explode. Everybody run! It's going to explode! I started running toward the exit, and was soon overtaken by both Reza and Maverick. I looked back over my shoulder to see Bryce grab the administrator before he started running as well. Just as I reached the outside, the explosion knocked me off my feet. There was a rain of small debris, as I heard the walls from the building shaking in their foundation. As I looked up, I saw Reza fumbling with his gun and Maverick pounced on him. He bit into Reza's neck and strained for a second before ripping a large chunk of it out. Reza wasn't moving when Maverick walked off and came towards me. Where's Bryce? I looked towards the entry, which was now mostly blocked by debris. He must still be inside. Then what are you still waiting for? Come on! We ran towards the rubble, only to see the administrator crawling through a small hole as she removed the last bits of debris and separated her from the outside world. Afterward, she laid down, panting heavily. Water began to trickle from the new opening. It's the water pockets. The building must be flooded. And he's still inside. I'll clear away the rubble, and you try to find him. We both set to work as I struck my head on the hole the administrator had crawled out of. The place was flooded completely, but luckily, even though the water I could see, even through the water I could see Bryce, as he also tried to clear away the rubble from the other side. Quickly, I pulled my head back out of the hole. He's on the other side, trying to come through. Who knows how long he's been underwater? Give her some air! I took a deep breath before I went in again. I extended my arm to grab Bryce's muzzle. Luckily, he seemed to understand what I was going for, as he moved into my reach. I pressed my lips to his muscle, giving him much-needed air. I drew back, repeating the same process a few times, while Maverick cleared away the rubble, until eventually Bryce surfaced, panting heavily. Are you alright? Yes, let's get away from here before the empty water pockets cave in or something. Maverick carried the administrator while we went uphill towards the portal. Man, Reza might be innocent. That was a wild card I wasn't expecting. When I came across Reza's corpse, I took the time to strip him of his gun and ammo, not wanting the dragons to find them. Meanwhile, the administrator was set on the ground, and Bryce checked out everyone's injuries. Luckily, it seemed both Bryce and Maverick were comparatively minor and didn't need any immediate attention. The administrator was not so lucky, however. She squirmed as Bryce moved her clothes out of the way to get a good look at her bullet wound. No, don't. As I returned to them, I heard Bryce audibly gasping. Damn it. Is it bad? Draco, do you remember the first victim? The blood on his muzzle was from fighting back. It was neither yours nor Reza's, but still distinctly human. I thought it was an error, or that our DNA tests weren't compatible. But Reza doesn't have a matching bite wound from him. She does. I considered the implication of Bryce's words. Whereas Reza usually didn't hesitate to admit to the killings to reach the goal he thought was noble, he had denied any such actions this time. Of course, there was no use ignoring the evidence before us. This could only mean one thing. This bitch was killing people. Why'd you do it, Izumi? Why did you kill them? He did kill them. You know. It's just not in this timeline. If you can even remember my name now, then you should also remember what else he would have done. How he would have enslaved them to use as weapons back in the future. Now he doesn't care what happens to this world. I had to do it in order to put you on the same trail he would have. If I had come to you during the first night and tried to explain to you that I am a time traveler who had to kill in order to prevent a suffering that is magnitudes greater, genocide, slavery, would you have believed me? Who could have known that sometimes even Reza can change? If he didn't kill anyone, there would have been no investigation, and you wouldn't have known how dangerous he is when he shows his true colors. You just saw that even in this scenario, he wouldn't shy away from shooting others to get what he wants. Besides, I didn't want to risk jeopardizing our experience by changing things. It could erase all the progress we've made, and the things we learned over the many times we've done this now. If I didn't shove you out of the way in the cellar when the light fixture came down, you would have died then and there. That's what happened the first few times. There was a lot of trial and error involved to get where we are now. You wouldn't believe the lengths I have to go to every single time, and the consequences if I don't. You could not have followed the same path and arrived here if I didn't kill them. The fact that you remember that it was originally Reza who did it only proves just how important this is. Only if the events stay the same long enough will you be able to learn from them and remember, despite the effects of the repeated teleportations have on your memory. This only tells me that I made the right call. If Reza had nothing to do with it, then what was he doing when he was trying to take the generator? I slipped him a note he thought came from you. It said to meet here and take the generator before you'd leave together. He played his part well enough so you couldn't tell the difference. So he really did think that I planned all of this? That I lured him here to have him arrested by Bryce and Maverick? For all he's done, I think he deserves to know what betrayal feels like. I've listened to this long enough now. It was you, and that's all that matters to me. No, Maverick, don't do it! I'll tear you apart! Bryce tried to go between them, but Maverick aimed his shoulder squarely into Bryce's bullet wound. Bryce collapsed, convulsed in pain as Maverick pounced on Izumi and tore into her. Meanwhile, I put a few bullets into the gun I took from Reza before I aimed at Maverick and pulled a trigger several times. Maverick collapsed instantly and looked at me with a pained expression. Beneath him lay Izumi, dead. Why? He was trembling and took a few slow steps toward me, only stopping when I aimed the gun at him. Stop right there! She killed them, and you're protecting her? We need her. Told you I'd show no mercy if I found the killer. Just when I thought I could trust you. I should have known you'd shoot me just like Reza did. No, it's not like that. Then why? I don't think I can explain. He shook his head weakly. Thanks for proving me right, Draco. Do you remember when I confronted you a while back and asked you to explain your reasons? Told me I wouldn't understand. You're right. I don't. His head slumped as he closed his eyes. He was dead. Jesus. This is a good ending? What the fuck, game? Hey, Bryce. I'm afraid I've got some pretty bad news for you. What is it? We were able to power the portal again, even without the generators from the lab. But we still couldn't re-establish contact with humanity. Why not? Ever since the portal got sabotaged and was repaired, the coordinates, the connection to humanity's portal, it just isn't there anymore. Can you locate it again? We don't know how. We found a different set of coordinates in there, but for some reason we aren't able to use them. I know. Only I can. They're for traveling back in time to the day of my arrival. Guess you really are a time traveler, huh? Now that you know everything, that really shouldn't surprise you. What are you going to do now? Well, I guess returning to humanity is out of the picture. So it's either stay here, or using the portal return to the day you arrived here. All that time travel business is too complicated for me. Izumi had it all figured out. I'm wondering what she would think of this outcome. All she ever wanted was to save you dragons, just like Reza only ever wanted to save humanity. Oh, so this is the timeline that leads to me meeting myself. Neither shied away from killing people, so maybe you shouldn't look to them as pillars of morality. Either way, I'm not sure if you really have much of a choice here. They don't actually know if they can stop the comet. Of course, they'll try, but without the generators from the lab, it's not looking great for us. I initially came here to help humanity, But if I go back with what I know now, maybe I can help you too. At any rate, it was nice while it lasted. Hey, no need for melancholy now. It's not as if we're not going to see each other again. Soon, I was preparing to return to the day of my arrival. Despite her actions, Izumi had made a good point. Thinking about the knowledge I had now, I realized just how important it was to remember, and how it would help me during my next attempt. No doubt, the teleportation would erase some of my memory again, but I could think of a few ways to retain some knowledge. Not only did I have my own written account of what had happened with me, but there were also physical reminders I could bring to remember, such as Izumi's mask and cloak. With her gone, I was now the one with the most experience. As I made my way to the portal, I realized that in order to make this mission a success, to save everyone, this time I would have to save myself. Alright, and that's Bryce's timeline. Wow, that was eventful. Well, obviously we're gonna watch the credits and see Bryce added on at the very end, but I need to decide who our next ending is gonna be. Because we still have a ways to go. There's also a true ending that maybe we'll do, but that's a much later thing. So we just did Bryce. If I roll a 4 again, I'll re-roll. But Remy is 1, Anna is 2, Lorem is 3. 4, re-roll. 3, Lorem's next. I think I want to save Anna for last, so I think we're going to do Lorem, and then Remy, and then Anna. Alright. I don't know if next episode is going to be the last, because I've technically gone all the way through Lorem's already, so we're going to speed through him. But there's also Remy's ending, which I haven't gone all the way through. So for Remy's ending, I might have to... For Remy's ending, I might have to do a full episode of that, but Lorem's isn't going to take too long, and neither is Anna's. So I could do both of them in the same one, and I just did the roll to decide that Lorem was next. I think we're going to do Remy next time against my roll there, because it just makes sense to do Remy's next, because he's also one that has some new scenes, where Lorem's and Anna's are going to be different. Murderer, you've seen Bryce's good end. And there he is! Alright. Still got a few people to get through. But with that, I think we're going to end this episode here. In the next one, we're going to do Remy's ending, I guess. See you guys then.